Your summer food game is only as strong as what you're working with. This July 4th at Lowe's, get up to 45% off select major appliances and save up to an additional 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Plus, save $50 on a select Pit Boss DX Smart Electric Smoker, now $249. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 6/24 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Insurance isn't one size fits all, and shopping for it shouldn't feel like squeezing into something that just doesn't fit. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they show you options that fit your budget. Enough hunting for discounts, trying to calculate rates, and tinkering with coverages. Maybe you're picking out your very first policy, or maybe you're just looking for something that works better for you and your family. Either way, they make it simple to see your options. No guesswork, no surprises. Ready to see how easy and fun shopping for car insurance can be? Visit Progressive.com and give the Name Your Price tool a try. Take the stress out of shopping and find the coverage that fits your life on your terms. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Marcia Allen was a widow in her early 50s, and while she was on vacation in 2023, her house back home in Indiana was robbed. They took everything, an upset Marcia told law enforcement officials after she rushed back home. The thieves stole things that were irreplaceable, priceless, like the necklace Marcia's late husband Harold had bought her. The piece was heart-shaped with the word angel on it. Other jewelry the thieves took were adorned with gems.
It's a real ruby necklace. Everything they took is everything he ever gave me. I have a picture of me wearing the sapphire earrings and necklace in our wedding, and we send you that one too.
Yeah, if you think it'll help identify anything when we start going through stuff.
Marcia sounded heartbroken about what she had lost. Wedding rings, family heirlooms, Harold's Star Wars collector's items, a mandolin, a Gibson guitar, antique coins, and guns. More than 36 firearms were taken. Adding insult to injury, the robbers even used the cart Marcia's mother gave her to haul away the arsenal of guns. Then they snatched the cart, too.
There was like a little cart there that he was loading guns.
Yeah, my mother got me that.
Okay.
I'm like, really? I'm like, it's bad enough that you're stealing everything that's ever known to man that was my husband's and mine. And are you going to use my stuff to do it with?
The thieves went as far as rummaging through Marcia's refrigerator. But this wasn't a head-scratching whodunit mystery. Marcia knew who committed this upsetting crime. She had proof. Without telling anyone, she had installed hidden home surveillance cameras that she bought from Walmart. She could view the security footage on her phone. She showed police the videos of the two men in her bedroom. One of them seemed like the world's dumbest criminal. He wasn't wearing a mask. Marcia saw his face and clearly recognized him as Stephen White. Stephen was her daughter Ashley's best friend.
So when he's pulling it out, you see his full face.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, yeah. Stephen, you're...
Yep.
And by the way, his mother's going to try to bail him out and pay him off, whoever off, because that's what she's done his whole entire life. He gets in trouble, she pays him off.
The second robber was slightly more sophisticated and left his mask on, but Marcia recognized his voice. It was Nathan, Stephen's husband. The burglary took place while Marcia was out of town with her elderly parents in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. She had installed the security cameras because she was scared about leaving her cats behind at home for so long. The 7-day trip was cut short when Marcia got alerts on her phone and saw on her surveillance that she was being robbed. She hurried home. The vacation was ruined. And it wasn't just Stephen and Nathan who were involved. Martha was convinced her daughter Ashley had orchestrated it. One clue? A safe had been burglarized.
3 people in the world knew that safe. It was me, my husband, and my daughter. Because he gave it to my daughter because she kept a little bit of money in there at one time.
I'm writing this down real quick.
Well, my husband's dead. I was in Tennessee. And her and Stephen are best friends.
So what did your daughter, you said you talked to your daughter. What is she saying?
She's denying it. She goes, he's trying to drag me down. I'm like, Ashley, I said, I have proof. If you get his cell phone, which I don't know if you can or not, it's got all the messages because he was on his phone like this, and it's in the video, and he was punching the code. So I know she sent it to him.
That.
Yes.
I don't have any idea, you know.
It'd be my daughter.
This case today starts with a burglary, but it ends with something much more sinister. This is Jillian in partnership with Law and Crime. You are listening to Court Junkie. My cousin from North Carolina came to stay with us last month, and we put him in our guest bedroom with our new Casper Snow Max mattress. And when I asked him how he slept the next morning, he told me it was one of the comfiest mattresses he had ever slept on. Quite a huge compliment. And now my daughter has discovered it too. So even with our cousin gone, I've still got an 8-year-old trying to pull squatters' rights in the guest bedroom. This podcast is sponsored by Casper. Casper makes reliable, high-quality mattresses designed to deliver consistent, comfortable sleep night after night. Casper's mattresses are highly rated by Consumer Reports, and out of 99 mattresses, Consumer Reports named Casper's The One mattress their top-rated all-foam mattress of 2026. If you're in the market for a new mattress or a mattress upgrade, head to Casper.com and save up to 30% on the mattress you deserve. Casper's mattresses are also built to be durable and long-lasting, so you're not replacing your mattress every few years. These things are designed to withstand the test of time, maintaining support and comfort over the long haul. And Casper has their 100-night risk-free trial, so you can give it a try risk-free. Although with 110,000-plus 5-star reviews, I have a feeling you're going to love it like my whole household apparently does. Casper offers a wide range of mattress types, so whether you like yours firm, soft, or somewhere in between, there's something for you at Casper.com. And they just launched a brand new kids mattress, so maybe my daughter's in luck. Right now, save up to 30% on mattresses and up to 35% on everything else when you go to Casper.com. One last time, that's CASPER.com and save up to 30% on the mattress you deserve. Court Junkie is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states. Lieutenant Adam Nicholson with the Jackson County Sheriff's Office was the lead investigator who was looking into the burglary at Marcia Allen's home. Over the course of his career, he went from a security guard to a jail officer, then a deputy, and rose in the ranks in the department. Jackson County was a place where violent crime was rare.
We're like southern Indiana. I usually try to explain to someone that I'm meeting for the first time where I live is, or where Jackson County is almost directly between Louisville, Kentucky and Indianapolis, Indiana. So it's really, a quiet area. We do have a lot of like thefts, burglaries. There's, drug use like everywhere. So a lot of, fight with drugs and stuff. But, typical crimes, could vary anywhere from theft to OWIs, which is operating while intoxicated, driving while suspended. Usually on smaller scale here.
The burglary at Marcia's home happened 9 months after Marcia's husband, 52-year-old Harold Allen Jr., died after suddenly falling sick. Marcia and Harold had only been married for about 2 years at the time of his death. To an outsider, their love story sounded like a Lifetime movie. They graduated from the same high school together and then reconnected decades later at their 30-year high school reunion. A romance sparked and they got married. He worked as an engineer at Ison USA, an automotive supplier. According to his sister-in-law, Samantha Allen, Harold woke up and went to work each day for 33 years for the same reason most middle-class citizens do, to pay for his home, his truck, and just to survive. He lived paycheck to paycheck and would incur debt for vacations or just in order to pay for his hobbies. He did not have a lavish life or significant savings, and what he had worked very hard for. It seemed like Marcia and Harold had been happy together.
They liked to go out to eat together. They did a lot of that. They went on vacation quite a bit. I think there was a vacation to Missouri, and then they went to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, at least a couple times. That was one of their favorite places to visit. So it seemed like that their relationship was pretty good, especially like talking to other family members about how much Harold cared for her.
Harold, who went by the nickname Peanut, was by all accounts a stand-up guy. His loved ones told 48 Hours that Harold was born premature and got the cute nickname because he had been so small.
Described by family and friends as just being a very caring, loving person. Anybody that knew him is just, thought he was a great guy, hard worker, went to work every day, had friends at work, had friends outside of work. His family was crazy about him. His brothers really looked up to him. He was the oldest of two other brothers. So he was, kind of a role model, I guess is what you'd say for them. They really looked up to him a lot.
Aside from Harold, the other important person in Marcia's life was her grown daughter, Ashley.
Marcia and Ashley had a very strong relationship. I feel like that, I have a good relationship with my parents, but this was different, like their relationship was more like friends, I guess, instead of mother-daughter talk. It's just really hard to explain their relationship. Like every morning, Marcia would check on Ashley, and it would be like, good morning, baby girl. Good morning, baby girl, every single day. And, Ashley wasn't shy about asking for things. Like if she needed money for cigarettes, or if she needed, money for food, or McDonald's, Taco Bell, things like that. Like she was constantly asking Marcia to send her money through Venmo and apps like that, Cash App. So their relationship was strange, but it was, I would describe it as like extremely close. Like they were like best friend close.
For about a year, Ashley moved in with her mom and stepfather. She had been living with them when Harold died. Ashley's fiance and their children moved in too, so it was a full house.
It just seemed like after Ashley moved in and, plans started happening, that's kind of when things, fell apart.
After Harold's death, Ashley moved out of the house she had shared with her mom and stepdad and relocated to Missouri. That's where she was living when the two burglars snuck into Marcia's house in the middle of the night in September 2023. Investigators were able to quickly track down the man Marcia had recognized on the footage as Stephen White.
So you have any idea why we're here today?
Well, they said that y'all got me on camera last night burglarizing the place.
Okay. So
And my husband.
If that's the case, you know anything about it?
No.
The sheriff's deputies showed up at Stephen's mom's home, where Stephen was staying with his husband and kids. At first, Stephen had an answer for everything. He and his husband were sick, so they couldn't have been out burglarizing Marcia's home.
I personally think I have strep or something. Been running a fever. My tongue is all swollen and sore, and my mouth is red and white, so just letting y'all know that.
He denied that it was him in Marcia's footage.
And we got video. That's just a still shot from a video.
Hold on, let me see here. I really do not have a hat. I don't even have a fucking hat.
As for Stephen's car, which was also caught in Marcia's footage, Stephen claimed his car had been stolen that night, although he was miraculously standing next to his car as he spoke to Lieutenant Nicholson. The car had reappeared by then. With such brazen evidence against him, Stephen wasn't going to deny that he had robbed Marcia for very long. But as the sheriff's deputies were arresting him for burglary, Stephen threw out accusations of his own against Marcia. Marcia was a murderer, Stephen said.
I just smoke another cigarette. I'll explain the whole thing, but it's ugly. Because that lady is the lady who told me to go get the shit. Her name's Marcia Buxton. And she asked me to go get that shit because her husband, Harold Allen, passed away of unknown causes in December.
Okay.
And according to her, her husband passed away because she needed that life insurance money. But she did not get that life insurance money because the policy was set to go to his brother.
Stephen said Marcia had murdered her husband, Harold, who had mysteriously passed away 9 months prior.
You're being awful truthful with us, so I didn't want your truth
because this woman's a
to
fucking murderer.
be contradicted by
This
just
woman
one.
is a fucking murderer. Okay? I know that. I have not gone to nobody and said anything because I don't have no fucking proof on it. This woman's a psychopath. And I'm telling you guys that right now. I called her daughter, who explains to me Mom has gone crazy and her husband died of unknown causes, but I think it might have been a heart attack, but I know it wasn't that because he was just fine. Everyone was drinking on Christmas Eve. The presents were set out for the kids, and Marcia went into the kitchen and made a root beer float with whipped cream and sprinkles on top of it. And she poured something out of a bottle into there. And she told Ashley that that was his little extra shot because he likes spiked root beer floats. That's what she told her daughter. I think Ashley said it was horrible because like an hour and a half later, he started saying, "Oh, I'm tired. I'm drunk. I got to go to bed. I don't feel right." But he only had that one drink, apparently, and like maybe 2 beers. He said, "I've never felt that drunk before in my life."
Stephen was escorted into the sheriff's deputy's car. He urged investigators to check Marcia's computer records as he said goodbye to his family.
This woman's murdered her husband, and if you go into her computer files, I love you, Mom.
Stephen definitely had a lot to say. He was full of words and just was talking about anything but what we were wanting to talk about. It seemed like, and it's also common for burglars to try to tell you things though that they think are catching a bigger fish. Like if they want to throw you onto something bigger than what they've done to help themselves out. So I had that in my mind too. Like this could be, but I knew nothing about Marcia Allen. I knew nothing about Harold Allen. I didn't even know that Harold Allen had died or existed until that day. After he becomes dramatic and give me a cigarette and I'll tell you everything that happened. And, and then he starts telling us everything that happens and he starts becoming more truthful and telling us who was with him. And I think he even eventually admits, Ashley's the one that set it up and Ashley gave him the safe code and they were going to, sell the guns and takes us to other places out in Scott County where other stolen stuff was. So the more time went on and he started becoming truthful and his story never changed.
And that's how Lieutenant Nicholson's burglary case quickly changed into a murder investigation. I'll be honest, my freezer game has always been uninspiring. Grocery store chicken breasts, the occasional ground beef, whatever was on sale that week. It worked, but nothing about it ever felt exciting. And half the time, the proteins were just fine, forgettable. The kind of meal you make because you have to, not because you're looking forward to it. So when Omaha Steaks sent us a box, I wasn't expecting to be this impressed. We went through their burgers, hot dogs, some chicken, and a few things from a variety pack. And the difference was honestly noticeable from the first bite. My kids, who are normally pretty picky, went straight for the hot dogs and burgers, of course. But they didn't leave a single one behind. Everything is individually vacuum sealed and perfectly portioned, so there's no waste and no guessing on amounts. They also have some yummy desserts, which is always a hit. What I didn't realize is that Omaha Steaks is a family-owned company that's been doing this for over 100 years. So the quality makes a lot more sense once you know that. Everything's USDA certified tender, naturally aged, and frozen at peak flavor, so it actually tastes like something instead of just filling a plate. And with their flexible delivery plans, we're not making last-minute grocery runs or tossing meat that went bad before we got to it. Taste the Omaha Steaks difference and never settle for grocery proteins again. Get flavorful, high-quality proteins delivered by visiting omahasteaks.com plus $35 off when you use promo code COURT at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com, code COURT. Terms apply. See site for details. If you're anything like me, boosting your energy usually means another cup of coffee, which means crashing by 4 p.m. anyway. So today's sponsor, Metabolism Ignite from Veracity, is for anyone looking for something a little more sustainable than that. This podcast is sponsored by Veracity. They describe themselves as an all-natural way to reduce cravings, get energized, and sharpen focus, with their approach built around metabolism as the root cause of a lot of these day-to-day struggles. Their formulas are drug-free, doctor-formulated, and backed by clinical research. Here's the piece they say most people are missing: blood sugar. When it spikes and crashes, the theory goes, everything suffers. Your energy, your mood, your cravings, that 3 p.m. slump you can't shake. The idea behind Metabolism Ignite is that it helps your body process glucose more efficiently and improves insulin sensitivity, so you're avoiding those spikes in the first place, which Veracity says leads to more stable energy throughout the day without the crashes or cravings. Metabolism Ignite has sold out 10 times, and Veracity says there are no known side effects and no allergens in the formula. As for what's in it, lemon verbena and hibiscus extracts, green coffee bean extract, and magnesium, a blend designed to support metabolism and help with appetite control, working at what they describe as the mitochondrial level, so the energy feels steady rather than jittery, whether you're in back-to-back meetings or chasing kids around the house. What I like about Veracity is that it feels scientifically legit without coming with some scary warning label that sends me into a spiral. Anyone else immediately regret Googling a supplement? And it's just 2 capsules every morning, so it's about as low lift as a routine gets. So before Metabolism Ignite sells out again, control your cravings and boost your energy the natural way. Head to veracityhealth.co and use the code COURT for up to 65% off your order. Once again, that's VERACITY health.co for up to 65% off. And make sure you use my promo code COURT so they know I sent you. Marcia Allen was at the sheriff's station to talk to detectives a day after Stephen's arrest, a day after Stephen implicated her in the murder of her husband. At first, the investigator's strategy was to play dumb. Detective Clint Burcham asked Marcia about all of her stolen belongings, as if he was focused solely on solving the burglary.
So on September the 20th of 23, when Detective Burcham was interviewing Marcia, because I didn't interview her that first time, I talked to Detective Burcham before the interview, and we had both agreed at that time, like, you have to ask her about Harold's death. I think you have to mention it because of Stephen. You know, Stephen had told us, where the stolen stuff was. He had taken out of the safe. He told us who was with him, showed us where that person lived, told us the property that guy would have had. Stephen was also taking us to places out in the county where more stolen stuff was. I mean, everything that Stephen was telling us started, panning out. It started working out. Like his information was reliable. And I was like, so everything he's told us has come true. I think we have to at least ask her about Harold or what happened to Harold. So the interview room where Clint was interviewing Marcia, I was in the very next room over, and that's where I could watch the interview on camera and listen to it. So I was kind of waiting on that on that moment. And I think he was talking to her about just kind of getting the information about Steven and obtaining the videos that she had on her phone, because she had a home security system that caught the burglaries, caught their actions inside the house. And so when he got towards the end, he brings it up, ask her what happened to Harold. And she didn't even crack on it. I mean, her reaction didn't really change at first glance. When I first watched it, I didn't really see much of a difference in her. Later, watching it again in hindsight, I'm like, okay, maybe her attitude changed. Like, she went from really like a bubbly personality to, almost mad.
Here are some clips from Marsha's interview at the sheriff's department.
I'll tell you what else he said. He accused you of murdering your husband.
I did not murder my husband.
Okay. Something to the effect of some kind of, I don't know, some kind of seeds or something, and basically poisoning his drink. That
would show up in a toxicology report if that happened.
And was there an autopsy done?
Yes.
There was an autopsy.
Autopsy and toxicology.
Okay.
He died because he had pericarditis that was undetected.
He had what?
Pericarditis. It's the inflammation. Heart has pericardium around it, the lining of the heart that protects the heart when it beats. It went undetected, so it went on so long that the pericardium around the heart hardened and it stopped his heart, and he had a little bit of blocked arteries. That's an autopsy report.
Okay, all right.
It's even on the death certificate.
All right.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling you what he said.
He's lying.
Okay. I believe you. I told you before,
I cannot believe he said I tried to kill my husband.
I will tell. We worked on this pretty much all day. We did work on this all day yesterday. So I didn't get a chance to sit down and literally listen to every little thing that was said in the videos yet. I think that's about it.
Wow.
Detective Bertram left the room to get paperwork for Marsha to sign, consenting to a phone search. While he was gone, Marsha was alone in the interview room. But she kept busy, deleting thousands of text messages from her phone. She handed her phone over when the detective returned to the room. The text messages were able to be recovered, however. During a forensic download of Marsha's phone, investigators discovered some extremely interesting text exchanges between Marsha and her daughter, Ashley.
But there was like 45,000 pages of a PDF download for that phone.
Slowly, bit by bit, message by message, Lieutenant Nicholson spent months reading Marsha's correspondence with Ashley.
It was overwhelming at times. I'm not going to say that it wasn't.
He pieced together a timeline with other evidence guiding him along the way, like financial transactions and the search history from Marsha's computer.
Nothing about this case was easy to explain anytime you tried to explain it. And I remember saying a lot of times, you have to read the messages. You have to read if you don't read the messages, then you're not going to understand the case. You have to read the text messages, although it's a lot, but you have to read at least the timeline that I put together. We had so many good detectives. Our whole group of detectives are like the best group of detectives ever, in my opinion. And those guys worked just as hard, if not harder, than I did at finding stuff, helping find stuff. Me and Detective Bertram were on the phone every single day. Like, I was in my office, he was in his office. We would, bounce these text messages off each other. What could this mean? And then like a page or two later, we'd come across another message that finally made the first message make sense. Because like the message, say on page, 500, the message we read looked like something important, but we really didn't know what it meant. But then on page like 503, we would find another text message and be like, oh, okay, that's what that meant. And then you would have to go back and kind of backtrack and make sure you didn't miss anything in between 500 and 503 that, might be relevant. And if you can picture it as, like you're trying to get as much evidence on someone as you can because you know how important this is to Harold's family. And, you know, we had conversations with him like, you know, we're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to find out what happened. And I feel like we're close. And so then whenever you would find something really significant, it would, you know, like I said, I don't like to use the word exciting in a murder case, but it was almost, you know, excitement there. Like, okay, I found another really good piece here.
Investigators came to believe that Harold had been poisoned, as Stephen had said, and not just once, but multiple times. They discovered that pong pong seeds had been purchased on eBay from Ashley's email account on September 14th, 2022, and mailed to the address where Ashley, Marcia, and Harold were all living. And there were text messages confirming receipt of them. On October 11th, Ashley texted her mom, Marcia, "Seeds come today in the mail." Marcia wrote, "Yay." Ashley texted, "So we got to get the mail today." Marcia responded, "We will, definitely." The pong pong tree is found in India, Southeast Asia, and East Africa, and the toxins in its seeds have killed hundreds of people over the years, according to the U.S. National Library of Medicine. The tree has been given a dark nickname, the suicide tree. In the probable cause affidavit, Lieutenant Nicholson wrote, "Those who ingest the seeds will suffer from a variety of symptoms like nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, and diarrhea, followed by heart-related symptoms including heart blockage, which could potentially result in death." The pong pong seed has been reported to be used in cases of suicide and homicide in their countries of origin. The National Institute of Health added that most cases are suicidal, but there are concerns about its potential use as a homicidal agent, as the bitter taste of seeds can be masked with spices and may be added to food. On November 15th, Ashley was texting her mom about making brownies. Ashley texted about his special treat. Her recipe included espresso powder, dark and milk chocolate, and caramel sea salt. And black walnuts, Marcia texted. Ashley wrote, "I got you black walnuts, smiley face. On the list, LOL. Marcia texted, "We can say the nutty flavor is from the nuts, and I can make us some banana nut bread later with the black walnuts." Ashley responded, "Oh, we got this. I'm chef researching how to fix a bitter dish." On November 25th, while Marcia and Harold were out to eat, Ashley baked. "I'm going to use the coffee grinder before you get back, so just let me know," Ashley texted. "Tonight couldn't have gone any better," Marcia wrote later. On November 26th, she texted her daughter a photo of Harold in bed with a paper plate of half-eaten brownies on his stomach. "He ate almost all," Marcia wrote. Later, she texted, "LOL, he's on the toilet, pooping and moaning some." According to their phone records, the mother-daughter duo later began researching a different poison. On November 27th, someone using Marcia's Google account searched, "What happens if you eat foxglove seeds? How much foxglove is fatal? And how long does foxglove take to kill you?" Foxglove is a beautiful but poisonous plant, very deadly. Marcia texted Ashley that same day, "I just want it done, LOL." Ashley responded, "Me too, like beyond over it, LOL, but we got it." Marcia wrote, "Like what's taking so long?" Then, "He's off balance, said he had trouble getting out of the car." Ashley wrote, "The wait it takes 12 hours for a woman at 180 to feel anything, you do the math, LOL. It's slow." Marcia responded, "So it's going to take a while." 48 max, Ashley wrote, "We will know." Marcia responded, "LOL, he's making me mad." Ashley asked, "What's he doing besides just his usual, LOL?" Marcia then texted her a story about how Harold had laid beside her the night before and told her, "I just want you to know my love for you hasn't changed and never will." Ashley texted her mom. Ah ha ha ha, that's insane. But oh well, LOL. So ominous. Marcia wrote, I need foxglove seeds. I think I can get them at Walmart. Ashley responded, Thank you. We are watching a new movie on Netflix with the kids, and those are traceable. If they look for it, LOL, Marcia wrote. Ashley asked how everyone was feeling. Marcia said, He's negative as usual. Stops when he sees my face. My anxiety is off the charts. Massive dizzy spell just hit him. He's trying to shake it off. Later that day, on November 27th, Harold went to the hospital. The left side of his face was numb. The next day, November 28th, Marcia texted Ashley, He called out. I said, Did you call work? He said, There's no way I can work. I said, That's not what I asked you. I said, Did you notify your work? Yes, I did. I said, You need to start listening to what I ask. He said, I can't hear, sorry. Marcia went on, texting, I'm so tired. He's been in and out of this bed so much, it's not even funny. I am irritated and can't sleep peacefully. I need this to be over. It's hanging on by threads, and he's mean and narcissistic. Ashley wrote, He's an ass. You've been so nice. And it is hanging on by a thread. It's so long because he's big. Marcia responded, I wish it would reach its climax and be done, LOL. If he moved around, it would go faster. He is not presenting like the stories. On November 29th, Harold missed work because he was sick. This needs to end for real, Marcia texted Ashley. Almost 48 hours. I agree, Ashley texted back. As long as the symptoms are still present, it's happening, just at a pace it needs to, but I'm annoyed with it too. Marcia then wrote Ashley Harold's exact words. I'm feeling a lot better since drinking Gatorade. Ashley texted back, Well, we need to reorder. Probably can't be cooked, but did do some damage. 2 days later, on November 30th, Harold was back at the hospital with gastrointestinal problems. He texted Marcia, I just want to lay down. My stomach hurts. Marcia wrote back, I bet you're dehydrated. On December 1st, Marcia texted Ashley, I'm pissed, sick, and tired. He just needs to let go. She also wrote, We need to start looking for land. Ashley texted Marcia, $32. Marcia wrote, Not bad. It will be here on Monday if we order today. Do I send you 32? Ashley responded, That's what it says, and yes, please. According to the records, Ashley had ordered water hemlock on Etsy. This is what Lieutenant Nicholson wrote about that in the probable cause affidavit. According to the USDA, water hemlock is the most violently toxic plant that grows in North America, and only a small amount of the toxic substance in the plant is needed to produce poisoning in livestock or humans. A document from Oregon State University states it only takes a piece of a root the size of a walnut to kill a 1,200-pound cow or horse. Water hemlock poisoning has multiple symptoms. Some of them include nausea, abdominal pain, epigastric distress, flushing, dizziness, and death. On December 2nd, Ashley texted Marcia, You can't touch the plant. Marcia wrote, You will need gloves. Ashley responded, Oh, I know. I'll need to wear gloves and have some time alone to prepare the root. Later, Marcia wrote, He was thinking about not going to his uncle's funeral tonight. I said, You will regret that. He needs to go and just drop in the hole too, Ashley wrote. Then later, he went into apnea this morning. I thought, yay, then heard a gasp and snore on the couch. Marcia wrote, It's coming. I agree, Ashley responded. At one point, Ashley texted, He's a waste of space. Some of Ashley and Marcia's messages were about witchcraft, which shocked the investigators.
And it was really strange because, none of us officers, detectives were familiar with any of that kind of stuff, really. I mean, we'd heard about it or maybe seen things like in movies and things like that. But like to have it in front of us, none of us were familiar with that at all. But it started kind of coming together, towards the middle of the investigation when we were really digging through those text messages. Like, this is what they really believe. Like, that. And when we had the chance to question Ashley and Marcia separately at different times, Marcia kind of denied, having anything to do with it and saying, well, that was more Ashley. Ashley's the one that really believes more of that stuff. And then whenever we would talk to Ashley about it, she would push it more off on to Marcia and say she didn't really believe that much about it, but it was Marcia who believed that stuff. So neither one of them, when questioned about it, really wanted to say one way or the other who was the one. But through the text messages, and I'm sure you've seen those, it's evident that both were highly believed that stuff.
Ashley and Marcia texted about candles and crystals and herbs. They seemed to be convinced that Harold was possessed by some kind of demon. That's how they referred to Harold. At one point, Marcia texted, I blew my candle out before I went to sleep, and he snapped, what is that smell? I said, my candle. So I know it knows his time is coming to an end. Ashley wrote, he snapped over it, yeah. It knows it's not going to have a host soon. And who knows, he will probably take till checkout, LOL. On December 8th, Ashley texted, do we have anything that can squish these while in the jar, LOL? Just a little squeeze to really get the good stuff out more, LOL. The messages indicated that at this point, Marcia and Ashley had poisoned Harold's Sprite and a margarita. On December 12th, Ashley texted Marcia, he drank that awful fast, LOL. Marcia wrote, not much of it yet. Ashley responded, well, that's all right. A little will be enough. Towards the end of 2022, Marcia and Ashley had devised a new plan to kill Harold. They would poison him with ethylene glycol, a colorless, odorless liquid used to make antifreeze. Another detective found a December 13th order for ethylene glycol that was shipped to an address for Lynn Allen. Lynn was Marcia's middle name. The package was sent to Marcia's home address. It cost $31.99 and was paid for with Ashley's credit card. Ashley sent the tracking number to Marcia on December 14th.
There's one message that I'll never forget, and it's the day it's the day that Harold drank the ethylene glycol. So I don't know if he actually died on the 19th, December 19th, or if he died on, I think the death certificate said December 20th, because that's when Marcia had called 911. But September 19th of 2022 is when the ethylene glycol arrives at Marcia's house. And, days leading up to this, there was lots of text messages like, I think it'll be there today. Or has it arrived yet? Has the mail came? And then that leads in again, like I said, to the 19th, and they're doing the same thing. They're asking, it's supposed to be here today. What time does the mail come? And when the mail is what they're calling the ethylene glycol. So when the mail finally got there, Ashley sends Marcia a message that says the mail is here, and there's a smiley face, like like the two dots, and then like a smiley face. It wasn't like an emoji. It was like how you'd type it out, like with a colon and then a parenthesis. And that message there is like, once we found out that she's referring to the ethylene glycol, because we were able to track that, like when the ethylene glycol was delivered, and it's within like a minute or two of that text message. So that message will be one I never forget.
On December 19th, 2022, Marcia and Ashley were planning dinner with a fatal dessert. Ashley texted, steak, pasta salad, and green beans. You can lie if he won't eat my cooking and say you cooked, but I'm already marinating the steaks. It's the little fillets, so not a huge dinner. plenty of room for floats. Marcia wrote, "He's all in for a root beer float." "Okie dokie, I'll tell the kids that's what we're doing tonight for dessert," smiley face. "Root beer floats." Marcia texted Ashley a picture of A&W root beer cans. Ashley and Marcia continued to go back and forth over what size root beer cans to buy. Ashley suggested bigger ones. The next day at 7:55 a.m. on December 20th, Marcia texted Ashley, "Come here, please." Ashley texted, "One moment." At 1:59 p.m., a 911 call came in from Marcia and Harold's house.
911.
Yeah, this is 3287 North State Road 135. My husband's in our bedroom floor and he's non-responsive and I need an ambulance relief.
Is he breathing?
No, he's not.
Okay. Did you find him like that?
Yeah, I work from home and I went back there to check on him because he's been sick. And then when I went back there, he was just laying on the floor like he was trying to get up and go to the bathroom or something. And he's not breathing.
Okay. Do you want to start CPR if I help you?
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay. Any signs of life?
No, he's just laying here with his mouth open.
Okay.
And he's white.
Is he cold to the touch?
What?
Is he cold or is he warm?
He's a little bit of both.
Okay. You have somebody there with you?
Oh, my daughter. Both of my granddaughters are here.
Okay. I got a police officer. It's almost there, okay?
After her husband died, Marcia wrote a book, a fact that's eerily similar to our last case I just covered about Corey Richins. Marcia's book was called From Surviving to Thriving, a short self-help book exclusively for people who have lost a spouse. In her synopsis, Marcia wrote, "This book provides a distinctive viewpoint and helpful answers related to your journey. It contains true life examples of resiliency, practical suggestions, and the lessons I have learned as a widow." The book is 38 pages and is currently on sale for $12.99 on Amazon.
I don't know if she wrote that book to kind of throw us off, because it's about the book is supposedly about like how to deal with the loss of a loved one, or like what do you do after your loved one passes away, and we would maybe look at her like she's just a grieving widow. There's no way she would do this. She wrote a book about it, but going through the book. Someone had said that the date of Harold's death is wrong. Like she got the date wrong in the book, which, I don't know if that's because maybe she didn't really write it and it was more AI writing and, it didn't correct that right date or something. I'm not sure what happened, but yeah, she did publish a book.
But as the phone records showed, Marcia, of course, was not your typical grieving widow. On December 24th, 2022, 4 days after Harold's death, Ashley texted Marcia, "I'm sorry, I'm trying to switch my vibe and can't. I love you." Marcia wrote, "I understand. I am faking it myself." Ashley responded, "I don't have it to fake. I have it left to fake for things that need it to keep a story." So, why would Marcia want her husband dead? According to Lieutenant Nicholson's theory, it was about money.
When I got a hold of ISON, their human resource department where Harold worked, and I got the information from their from the human resource department about where the money went, and Marcia received the money from his work from ISON. So she received like a 1 year pay. So I think he was making around $60,000 a year. So she received like $60,000, and then he had like a $50,000 life policy through ISON. So she got like 110, close to 110, 115,000 through ISIN.
On December 26th, 6 days after Harold's death, Marcia and Ashley texted about life insurance, Harold's 401k. Marcia wrote, "He only has AD&D with Centra. It will not pay out for natural causes." Ashley wrote, "I can, though, get a hold of the insurance, not the bank, as you, and ask some questions if you want. Only thing they can do is say, yeah, you don't get it, or where do I send the 200K, LOL. I'll need the paper from the safe, his social, maybe yours, his date of birth, etc., all the demographics, and I'll repeat questions I need the answer to out loud. We got this." "Okie dokie, and yes, we do," Marcia responded. Ashley then texted, "Peace is next, LOL. We are in the storm after the event. Then calm comes." But peace or calm did not come. Marcia texted Ashley angrily on December 29th after Marcia found messages that Harold had sent to another woman. Marcia said she found PayPal payments Harold had sent to this woman. Marcia texted, "PayPal notes, so I went to his Facebook Messenger where he talked to her best friend about he met a nice girl who truly loves him, but if only April would give him a chance, he would marry her and give her the world. He said he has loved her for over 20 years, and he has his whole heart." Ashley texted, "He was such a dog and deserved what he got. I'm livid. My heart just dropped, so I know yours broke, and you must feel so angry and broken because you did try and did love him at one point. OMG, Mom, WTF." When Harold's loved ones asked Marcia about getting some family heirlooms back in January 2023, Marcia gave a scathing response. How could anyone care about material things weeks after Harold's death? Marcia texted, "I am overwhelmed and disappointed and hurt, not to mention depressed and at a loss for words right now. I am struggling to survive mentally and physically. Guns are not on the top of my priority list right now. I don't expect any of you to understand this." A rift was also growing between Marcia and Ashley. The mother and daughter who shared so many secrets together were not on good terms and a fallout over money. "She owes me so much, much more than what I'm about to do," Ashley texted Stephen, as the two best friends began planning the break-in at Marcia's house. And Ashley's text to Stephen also caught Lieutenant Nicholson's attention. It was pretty much a confession. "She wouldn't even have succeeded with this last thing without me," Ashley texted Stephen on July 27th, 2023. "I planned it all. She was going to use insulin like 1983. Oh, it's not traced. Yeah, not usually and not years ago, but 2022? Yeah, it is. And he was a diabetic. Like, come on. So something else was hatched, and we both know that bitch wasn't the one planning, etc. She just fucking fucked it all up, made it less lucrative. Wouldn't even make it go get a will. She couldn't go into a dead man's phone without me to get all of his retirements and savings he had hidden. Hell, she got $4,500 from his PayPal CC because I showed her how to scam it as him before they find he's gone. She's fake AF." There was no foul play suspected in Harold's death, at least not at first. The outside world assumed his death was from natural causes. He was overweight and diabetic, so it was easy to presume his health had been failing him. His death might have gone under the radar if not for that burglary. Ashley, unsatisfied that her mother wasn't selling Harold's possessions fast enough and sharing the money with her, began orchestrating the robbery with Stephen.
Ashley just became impatient. She got tired of waiting for Mom to sell the house, and she wasn't doing any. Marcia basically wasn't doing what they had planned. Like, she was going to sell the house. The plan was for Ashley and Marcia to move to Colorado by themselves and live off the grid. And then after Harold's death, Marcia just didn't show any interest of selling the house and doing what, holding up her end of the deal, I guess. So that's whenever the burglary was planned.
When Marcia was robbed, she contacted police to report it. But why would she contact them about the burglary if she had something to hide about her husband's death?
There's been a couple things that I've tossed around. I think that she may have rushed to call, but then throughout the investigation, we learned from Stephen that Marcia despised him. Like Marcia hated Stephen with a passion, and I think when she saw him, she might have just rushed so fast before she started thinking about it, because she definitely had no idea that Ashley had told Stephen about the murder. She would have never dreamed that Ashley would have spilled that to Stephen.
And then, of course, it was after Marcia reported the burglary that investigators went straight to Stephen, who then told them that Harold had been murdered.
If it wouldn't have been for him, if he wouldn't have brought this up to us, then, we wouldn't have known. And we would still be just not knowing anything happened. So if it wouldn't have been for him, it wouldn't have been for Stephen, we would know nothing.
If you're wondering what happened to Stephen, the unlikely hero in this story, he was charged and went to jail for the burglary. Lieutenant Nicholson said he didn't serve the full sentence. The other thing that led to the truth about Harold's death was, of course, when Marcia willingly handed over her cell phone, full of those incriminating text messages. Without that phone, Lieutenant Nicholson might never have discovered the plot between Marcia and Ashley to kill Harold.
He had been dead for 9 months, and there had been an autopsy, and everything had been cleared by a doctor. And if the burglary wouldn't have happened, I don't see any way that we would have known that the murder even happened at all. I think that Ashley's greediness of setting up this burglary and then leading Stephen to Marcia's house to steal the items, and then which ultimately led me to Stephen and to get his confession of the burglary. And then, in the meantime, hear him, tell us that Marcia had killed her husband. That there would be no other way that we would have known about it.
Many murder investigations can get stalled. Sometimes evidence is hard to find and time goes by. But here, luck had been on Lieutenant Nicholson's side throughout the entire case. And that good fortune wasn't about to run out either. Even though Harold had been dead for 9 months, there was also physical evidence that linked Marcia and Ashley to Harold's death.
So when Harold died in December of 2022, he was taken to Schneck Medical Center in Seymour, and that's where they did the autopsy. And during the autopsy, they did an internal autopsy, so that meant that they would have cut him open, and they removed his heart during the autopsy. And so we learned that the heart was still available. The heart was still at Schneck, and that was, I guess, their policy. If they remove an organ from the body, they keep it for 1 year. So we were close, because it was December 20th was the death, and 22, and then the burglary was in September 19th of 2023. So we were within 3 months of losing that heart forever.
The sheriff's department made an appointment to test the heart at a special lab. According to the lab, sure enough, Harold had a lethal amount of ethylene glycol in his system.
We were lucky, and which I'll take luck any day. that it wants to, in these types of investigations, any luck that you can get is wonderful. And we also had the blood, Harold's blood, because during the autopsy they drew blood, and the blood wasn't at Schneck, but it had been sent to a lab up in Indianapolis for toxicology, and their policy was kind of similar to Schneck's. I don't know their exact policy, but their policy was similar, where after they test blood that's sent to them, they keep it for so long. So they still had that, and we were able to go get that blood and also take it to NMS labs with the heart and have it tested as well.
The blood also tested positive for ethylene glycol. I can't believe it's October 16th already, one investigator said when Marcia Allen was back in the interview room. A never-ending nightmare, Marcia agreed quietly. She was in for a second interview, this time even under more suspicion that she had murdered her husband. Investigators were about to confront her with all the text messages and evidence. Ashley was in the process of being extradited back to Indiana and was going to be interviewed later. Marcia had the opportunity to tell her side of the story first.
Was there any reason you think anyone else, or maybe even Ashley, would have wanted to hurt Harold?
No, not
no reason. Maybe.
I thought things were fine. Obviously, they weren't. I had no idea. If I'd even had an inkling, I wouldn't even let him in the house.
Maybe she knew that there was a life policy. And
the life policy wasn't that big. It wouldn't make sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Was he mean to you? Was he mean to her?
No.
He wasn't mean to the kids or anything like that, where she would have had some kind of way or some reason for any kind of retaliation.
I don't understand.
Something was done to him. And that's what we want to get to that's what we want cleared up, and that's what we want to find out. It was either her, Ashley, you had some reasoning behind wanting to hurt him or do something. I
don't understand it.
We're really trying to wrap our minds around it too, because unless these messages mean something totally different that we'll show you here in just a little bit, he's printing off. It's hard to understand. It's hard to understand why this would happen. But I just want you to know that we are talking to you first. And if you do know something that she did, to make sure that you tell me today, because when we talk to her, I don't think she's going to hold back.
Marcia said she has a feeling that things are twisted and that it looks like something it's not. She said ever since she was a child, Ashley would say something like it was a joke, but it really wasn't. It was the truth. Marcia said she was just trying to figure out what the crap is going on. She insisted she didn't do anything to her husband. She was asked if Harold died on the 19th or the 20th, and she said the 20th, that she tried to get him to go to the hospital, but he wouldn't go. I should have made him, she said. She said he wasn't talking right. He was slurring his words and had been doing that for a couple days. She said he wasn't right since November, when he had an episode at his mom's house. She said they were eating and he almost passed out. He was diabetic, so they went to the ER. She said she asked them to do a chest x-ray, that they told her that he probably just ate too much sugar too quickly. Investigators went back to talking about Ashley.
Did she ever talk about trying to exorcise any demons or anything?
Not that I'm aware of.
Nothing with the candles or anything like that? Like the candles wouldn't do anything to...
No. She always thought that certain candles would cleanse the room and stuff. It's just weird stuff that she does.
The interview went on for nearly 4.5 hours. The investigators moved slowly, with no hard accusations.
We just had to be very careful with Marcia that day. We couldn't, be the smartest person in the room, so to speak, because that would have probably ran her away. It was a long, long interview, longer than we wanted it to be. And it was tough. It was really, really hard because we had to, basically play dumb, not let her know that we were certain that what happened to Harold. And because at any moment she could have just asked for a lawyer and stepped out of the room and went home.
The pair of investigators showed Marcia the pages of text messages where Marcia and Ashley had discussed the ethylene glycol shipment, when the package would arrive, and mocked Harold's declining health.
The green is Marcia, and the blue is Ashley.
So you asked her if this was the company, and there was a screenshot of this place in Texas. And then she says, I don't know, but this is the code. And then that code is the match to what was shipped, which is the ethylene glycol. That's why we had our concerns over
There was so much Christmas stuff coming and so many things coming. But no, I did not know about that.
They asked her about the UPS tracking number Ashley sent her.
Yeah, but I never looked it up. She sends me crap like that all the time.
Yeah. But you see how we got, like...
Yeah, I see how
you see how it looks like you're connected to this ethylene glycol?
Yeah, but I'm not.
Okay. But, I mean, you see why...
It looks that way, yes.
So I want you to understand why...
I get it.
You know,
because I didn't know what was going on. I just trust people too much. Especially her.
I think you ordered something for her. She says you can't touch the plant when they come, just saying, gloves. You say laugh out loud, that's what I was going to tell you also. You will need gloves.
Yeah, those are the plants that were in the basement.
She said, aha. Or no, you said, aha. She said, oh, I know I'll need to wear gloves and have some time alone to prepare the root.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about there? What are you guys talking about?
Her marijuana plants that were downstairs in the basement.
She had to wear gloves for them?
Yeah, because she said that if you touch them too much, it could make the leaves on it and the roots die.
Okay.
I don't know anything about that, so.
All right. You see where that was concerning to us, though?
Yes.
So when I read it to you now, though, do you see where that could be, like you guys wanted him to die?
I did not want him to die.
She agreed that she can see how it would look if they were to find ethylene glycol in Harold's system.
And they didn't test for that. So that's something that would have gotten by that they didn't test for. But, luckily for us, they keep that blood for a year.
Mm-hmm.
So we have put a hold on that blood, and it's going to be retested for all kinds of other stuff. So we're going to find out what's in the blood. Do I think that you would just kill anybody or just go kill somebody randomly? I don't think that. No. Do I think that maybe he was so sick and that you guys just wanted it to be over? I mean, possibly. I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think of any other reason of just like there being like a cold-blooded murderer running around just killing people, I mean, I don't think that's the case.
I'm going to be very upset if it shows that, because I have no idea. I mean, I did not kill him.
Who did?
As far as I know, his heart condition did.
Okay. We get the results back.
Yeah.
And it says there's ethylene glycol in his system. How did that get there? If
I
you didn't do it, you didn't know anything about it. How did that happen?
We both made the root beer floats. So I did not put anything in anyone's drink. I didn't even know we had anything like that there.
Was there ever a chance when Ashley could have put something in there?
I have no idea. She lived with me.
Did you watch her? So did you
no,
watch her?
No, I did not watch her. No.
That's what I'm asking.
Basically. I did not watch her the whole time. No, I did not.
Say we get those results back, and that's what it says. It says that in his system, somewhere in his system, that there's ethylene glycol. What would be your best guess of how it got there, with everything we've told you?
Probably her.
And why would she want to do that?
I don't know.
And there's Google searches. How much foxglove does it take to kill someone? How much foxglove can I give someone before they die? I mean, that's pretty serious. And the dates match where he's sick and going to the hospital with anal bleeding, and that's one of those symptoms of foxglove. There's so much there and we're not the judge and the prosecutor, but this evidence here could easily be sent to them today and say, here's what we have probable cause to believe is that Harold Allen was poisoned by Marcia and Ashley. Marcia sent her $32. Ashley orders with that money, she orders this ethylene glycol. It's supposed to be there overnight, but it's not because of the holidays. So every day they're checking, is there a package yet? Is there a package yet? Is there a package yet? It doesn't come because they're behind for Christmas. When it finally gets there, Ashley sends Marcia a message saying, "We got a delivery," smiley face. You know what that looks like? That looks like evil. To smile about, hey, we got the stuff to finally kill Harold.
Then I think you liked or loved the image.
And then you love that image that there's a delivery. And then it's time for root beer floats the same day. And then the very next day, he's gone. And then we have a witness who has heard from Ashley saying the way that he died, how he died, that
that's essentially, Ashley somewhat confessed to Stephen.
So we have all that. We have the Google.
I think but I'm not 100% sure, but it almost sounds like she's maybe shifting the blame a little bit more towards you than herself.
And that was true. The day after their interview with Marcia, the investigators interviewed Ashley.
What we'd really like to know, Ashley, is if you know that your mom did something that she probably really shouldn't have done. I mean, your mom told us quite a bit yesterday, so if you know that do you think your mom's capable of doing something like that?
I don't know. I don't know that she did, but she's capable of whatever. She's very intelligent.
I got a question. It may sound a little bit odd, but does your mom, does she believe in the demons and kind of stuff like that? Like any of the, I guess that's what you'd call maybe witchcraft stuff and
Wicca, maybe.
Wicca.
I'm not for sure if that's exactly what it is, but
I'm not sure. She goes in random spills of talking about stuff like that, but I just give her a shoulder and then I don't know what to do with it.
We went into that a little bit yesterday with her, and she was talking about some candles and stuff like that she would burn to maybe kind of cleanse the air and stuff like that. But where I was going with that is was it ever mentioned, or do you remember anything ever mentioned about Harold possibly having some kind of demon, or I think it was referred to as it? Do you remember it?
Maybe an attachment?
She would say something about an it when his moods would flip.
She said Marcia was convinced Harold had been possessed.
She thought he had something in him. She did. I thought she was just, like I said earlier, dissociating what she didn't like from the man. Okay. And making it like a character. But the way she would word it, she really believed something was inside him. And that it was going to attack everybody in the house, and it was making her mean, and she really believed it. Okay. And I was like, well, you could get sage, as they say that you can do that. I didn't want to make her feel crazy, but I didn't want to make it worse.
Okay.
Because she would wake up and say, I see it looking at me. And
she said Marcia would get crystals and bracelets and those types of things to protect herself from it.
She would speak of the guides, like speaking to the guides.
Yeah, she does that a lot. She's done that for years.
So does she refer to the guides a lot as God? And
I think that's what they are to her.
Okay. Okay. And what is your thought on that? What's your thought on what did you think something also maybe could have been in him?
I didn't disbelieve it, but I kept my skepticism behind closed doors and told my mother whatever she'd like to hear, because I knew what happened if you don't.
What happened?
She tantrums out.
Yeah. Okay.
Tries to make somebody's life hell.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of have to just appease her or get the wrath.
Ashley said she had no quarrels with her stepfather, who had welcomed her into his home when she moved back. Harold liked being a grandpa to Ashley's kids. But according to her mother, Harold was a bad husband and Marcia was fiercely unhappy. Harold overspent and chased women. Ashley also told a story about Marcia's childhood. Marcia's father had once tortured a dog by giving the dog antifreeze. Marcia was young when it happened, but knew enough about the incident to retell the story to Ashley. Perhaps that had been a dark inspiration for Marcia to poison her husband decades later. Throughout the interview, Ashley laid the blame on her mother for the plot to kill Harold.
If you know something, now's the time to tell us. So we can...
I know she said she wanted out. But that's all.
Like she
said, well, you can divorce him. And she said that she was going to divorce him. And then she started acting all weird, like you said, about the demons and stuff.
Okay.
So, was there ever a time that she asked you to get her foxglove?
She asked me what it was, and I said, that's not good. I don't even think that you can have that.
What is foxglove?
It's just, that's a plant that I think.
Why do you think she would ask you? Like you think she was trying to bring you into that too? Or try to?
I don't know. She was always asking me weird stuff. She did ask me for access to my bank and stuff and all that. And I'd hand her my phone all the time.
Like to order stuff?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, because we would always do that. I would share mine and she'd never share hers.
You said, I think I know what you mean, but when you say your mom mentioned taking that way out, can you be more specific?
She wanted to get rid of him.
In what way? Because you mentioned divorce earlier.
No, she didn't want to divorce him. I said divorce. She wanted to be free of him completely. She wanted him dead. And I said, you're going to go to hell for that, Mom.
So she asks you about this, or she tells you that she wants him dead?
And I said, for what?
And that was going to be my next question. Why?
She said, he cheats. He puts hands on me. He spends all of our money. I have to be the man. I was like, you can leave.
So...
And then she started asking crazier and crazier questions, and now it is making sense.
She said at one point, Marcia asked her if antifreeze hurts.
So there's messages that lead us as investigators to believe that she needed your help. And that's why we've asked you about that. So we know with the text messages that what's happened to him. She's asked you for his help or asked you for the help. So we need to know like what you did to help. And if that is like what the final stage was and who did the final thing. Because we can all sit here and act like we don't really know what happened, but we all three in this room know that what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody put some ethylene glycol
on the root beer float. Put the ethylene glycol on the root beer float.
My mother did. Honestly.
Okay, so your mom put it in there because she wants him gone.
Yes.
And she wants it to be just you and her?
Yeah, which was never going to be. She's always tried to sabotage every relationship, everything I've been in, and try to micromanage how I raise my daughter.
Okay, so she puts the ethylene glycol in there. She had you help her how?
She would just have me get her information on things.
Okay.
That's it.
So how did that conversation go when she asked you to do that for her?
I really don't ask many questions, which I guess I should.
Mm-hmm.
For that woman, I just do what she asks and always have since I was a child.
Okay. So she asked you to order this ethylene glycol, some kind of chemical, for, you tell her that it's $32. So she sends you the money.
She said Marcia wanted to use root beer floats because Harold loved them so much. When Marcia made the dessert drinks on December 19th, 2022, Ashley claimed she was busy putting her kids to bed. She said Marcia wanted to pour 6 or 7 ounces of the ethylene glycol into Harold's root beer float. Marcia then reported back that Harold drank it all. He acted like he was drunk, delirious, and loopy, throwing up, she said. She told the investigators she went to bed early that night. They asked her what Harold had to go through.
I mean, there's no way around the way that he went that it wasn't absolutely horrible. And,
I guarantee it was awful.
And if that is, the case, there's probably some stuff that you would want to get off your chest. But
did your mom ever tell you about anything about how he went?
Right after and everything, she was in one of her little depression spirals over everything. She was talking about how karma's going to get her and she's going to have to feel some sort of pain the same. But that's all she said.
About 2 hours into the interview, Ashley took a sip from her water bottle and said, "Loyalty to a mother is a hell of a thing."
I don't think she feels any remorse, honestly.
Lieutenant Nicholson was convinced Ashley had a bigger role in Harold's death than she was letting on.
This is just my opinion. I think that Ashley's probably the one that put the ethylene glycol in the root beer float. I think Ashley's probably the one that did it. And I think that most of the investigators, I don't want to speak for them, but I think most of them agree. I think Marcia knew exactly what was going on. Ashley's the one that ordered the ethylene glycol. Ashley's the one that came up with the idea for the ethylene glycol. I think Ashley had done this before. I think that she's done this before in her previous marriage. She had a husband that died.
Not only did Ashley have a husband who had died, but he had died under mysterious circumstances also. Lieutenant Nicholson said Ashley's late husband was a man named Ty Jones. In her interview with the sheriff's office, Marcia said Ashley and Ty had gotten married when Ashley was just 18. 48 Hours reported that Ty had died at the age of 33, just 3 years before Harold's death. Marcia described his heart condition as a widowmaker and said he had been cremated. Ty's death occurred in a different county.
We, didn't really have a choice but to look at some of the stuff with Ashley's, husband, because it was in the mix of the stuff that we were looking at. So anytime that we would find something, or originally when we started finding stuff, we called the state police, because they have there's a state police post over that covers that jurisdiction in Scott County. So we called the detective. He met us at the sheriff's department, and we started explaining to him. And you can imagine this is not an easy case to explain. Nothing about this case was easy to explain anytime you tried to explain it.
For instance, on November 27th, as they were allegedly poisoning Harold, Ashley texted Marcia, "The wait it takes 12 hours for a woman at 180 to feel anything. You do the math, LOL. It's slow. And previously, Ty was only 120, LOL. So it's the wait." Marcia wrote back, "So it's going to take a while." Ashley responded, 48 max. We will know. We reached out to Scott County Prosecutor Chris Owens, who confirmed he's reviewing the case to decide whether or not to file criminal charges. He declined to comment further on the details about Ashley's late husband's death. In the end, neither Marcia Allen nor Ashley Jones stood trial for Harold Allen Jr.'s death. After her 4-hour interview, Marcia was allowed to leave. She wasn't arrested because the sheriff's department was still building their case. And so Marcia went home. But instead of awaiting an arrest or trying to flee, she died by suicide. Authorities discovered her body at her house.
It was tough losing her in that case, because I really wanted her to face justice, and wanted, the whole system to play out. I wanted this case to play out and her to have to answer to what she done. I was defeated that night. We hadn't interviewed Ashley yet, so I didn't know where that stood. Ashley was actually being transported that night back from Missouri, because we had went out to Missouri to arrest her on the burglary charges. but I hadn't even talked to her about the murder charge or the murder of Harold at all. She had no idea we even knew about Harold's death. And so I knew she was on her way back. This had just happened. Marcia and Ashley weren't getting along anyways because of the burglary and hadn't talked since the burglary. And, I wanted to arrest her that day and didn't get to. So I was really defeated.
As for Ashley, she ended up taking a plea deal. On September 23rd, 2025, Ashley was in court for her sentencing hearing in Brownstown, Indiana. She spoke briefly. Here's what she said. I'd like to apologize for my actions to the victim and their family. I know that it doesn't take anything back and it doesn't change the pain that my actions have caused for them, but I'm aware of the ripple effect that it has caused for not only their family, but mine. I've caused embarrassment and shame on my family's behalf. My actions have not only taken Harold away from their family, it's taken my mother away from ours. And now I have orphaned my daughter. So I am aware of the pain I've caused everyone, and I regret it, and I'm sorry, and it does not change it. I want them to know I'm not just sitting there and not thinking about it. I do. I have nightmares over it, and rightfully so. Lieutenant Nicholson read the most damning text messages once again, this time on the public record for the family to hear. He didn't believe Ashley was truly sorry. And then Harold's family got a chance to speak. They remembered the man they affectionately called Peanut. They said how he loved Christmas and how he enjoyed buying presents for his family. He had already mailed early Christmas gifts that arrived after he had been murdered. They said he was full of different talents. He played his mandolin in the basement to his family. He revved his motorcycle. He wasn't a father to biological children, so he found pleasure in doting on nieces and nephews. Then they said he fell in love with Marcia, and his life unraveled soon after. Samantha Allen said this in her victim impact statement. Peanut was so excited and hopeful about a new relationship he was in, and that's when we met Marcia for the first time. We were friendly when we were around each other, but her emotions never felt genuine. They poisoned him on the day of our Thanksgiving meal. They hoped he would die while visiting his mother. Instead, we all watched him suffer facial numbness, intestinal distress, full body sweats, severe abdominal pain, and losing consciousness. We forced them to go to the ER, while Marcia seemed unbothered by the events. I reached out in desperation to Marcia for any answers and explanation, but I am haunted by the messages that came after his death, saying she couldn't stand the thought of him being mistreated, that she was sick from crying so much, and how she just needs him there. A majority of our family had unsettling feelings and suspicions about his death from the beginning, but we dismissed them because there was just nothing we gained from such an outlandish act. Then Samantha spoke directly to Ashley. You decided multiple times over months to continue to live each day in a home that Peanut provided, with your mother and your own daughter, watching the effects of the torture you were inflicting, hoping this would be the time that you finally took his life. You continued to make plan after plan with such disregard for his life that you could make jokes and find a way for him to be responsible for not dying fast enough and calling him lazy. And this is where I see that you are your mother's daughter. Jackson Circuit Court Judge Richard Poitner sentenced Ashley Jones to 50 years in prison. Although Ashley was not a convicted murderer, the two charges she pleaded guilty to were conspiracy to commit murder and attempted murder by aiding, inducing, or causing. And that's all for this episode. This episode was researched and written by Gabrielle Rusin. A special thank you to Lieutenant Adam Nicholson for helping us with this case and telling the story of what happened to Harold Allen Jr. Thanks again for listening. Until next time.
Hello, and welcome to Plutofo. If you know the name of the movie you'd like to see, just stream it for free on Pluto TV, where all your blockbuster favorites are landing all summer long. Catch Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy.
Fantastic.
Men in Black, 1 through 3.
That's what I'm talking about.
Mean Girls.
Shut up.
Titanic.
I'm the king of the world.
And so much more. For showtimes, press nothing. They're free 24/7.
That is so fetch.
On Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never.
He gave me a book on art forgery. I found myself drawn to these old masters. How did these artists take paint from a palette, arrange it on a canvas? I began to unlock the secrets. I was a storehouse of knowledge of how to create an illusion, present it to a experienced expert, manipulate his mind, and convince him and bring him to the inevitable conclusion that the painting is genuine. We flooded the market with my paintings, and I couldn't believe what I did. I couldn't believe it. Then the dominoes started falling, and eventually the FBI were led to my door. They uncovered a mountain of evidence against me.
But they never actually got you. At this point, you've sold a lot. You've got like $1 million in cash. You sold one painting for $717,000. Why did it go away? Why did you never get indicted? And how are we having this conversation?
I guess it's the greatest story of all.
To hear how Ken Perenni made millions in art forgery, dodged the mafia and the FBI, subscribe to The Jordan Harbinger Show and check out episode 282 in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening now.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.